Hey there friends, and welcome to my beginner's guide and review for Honey, I Joined a Cult. I'm Icon, and in this video I'm going to guide you through the basic gameplay loop of this game, and we're going to explore how to build up a successful cult. I'm going to explain the challenges that are up ahead of you, and I'm also going to talk about what kind of balance you need to achieve to get all of this rolling. It's really fun, and I'm really enjoying what the early access version has to offer yet. Speaking about early access, this is a review of version 0.3 point somewhat, which is basically the version that has been freshly released on Steam. So there's a couple of kinks in that version and a couple of things which are most likely going to be ironed out. So I think at some point this video will need a whole rework. I'm pretty sure about that. But for now, let's get into the game. So this is our compound where we can build up our little HQ, and I need to build rooms. So we have rooms with different functions. The cult, as we see it here, by the way, is purely cosmetic. It has no gameplay influence if you're either worshipping Cthulhu or the Atom. It's your decision how your cult has to look like. That's why I went with a prefab. So our cultists are called atoms because we all worship the atom bomb, I guess. More of that later. So these are the rooms you need to keep your cultists happy. Therapy rooms are rooms which you need to interact with so-called followers. Those are people that come to your cult and want to be enlightened. And they want to meditate and spend dollars. Lots of them. So first off, we need to satisfy all the needs of our people, and then we need to build our reputation up with the outside world. Building rooms in this game is a really easy task which has a user interface which I enjoy already. So each of these rooms needs to be built at least once, so we're going to start with the bedroom. So the recommended room sizes are sometimes a little bit wacky, but in general pretty good. So I really like to look up the recommended room size to get a rough impression about how large these rooms are supposed to be. So here the bedroom is supposed to be 10:1, which is of course silly. We go over to the build menu and select a foundation, which is basically the platform to place rooms on. And we're going to go 10:10 for our sleeping room, because that's pretty sure that's what the game wanted to tell me. So here we have now the foundation. Select the room, slap bedroom on it, done. So now the game has understood that this is supposed to be a bedroom. We just slam a door on it, and this is basically very much all we need to know about building a room. The next thing we need to do is to furnish the room. I put a divider between these two things because furniture is an entirely new game mechanic, which is really influencing the game a lot. So first off, we have always things that need to be put into these rooms, which are found in the objects menu. Because this menu is crammed with tons of things, you can just click that room and see room specific objects. Boom. There you get always a readout of all the available items for your cult right now. Our bedroom can only include dirty mattresses. That's as good as it gets for now. So we slapped down 5 of them because we have 5 cultists right now, and as you see here, there's something wrong. Whenever that happens, just hover over the pop-up. We see here that each bed requires any one form of storage to function. So storage box, and as you see there, the symbols disappear. This works like that for pretty much every room in this game. And this is wonderful because it's pretty easy, it's very good understandable, and as you can already guess, of course there will be better beds and better storage options later down the road via research. But for now, that's all we need to do. Always provide as many beds as you have followers. I'm going to talk next about the bathroom, because the bathroom is one room which behaves a little bit more specific compared to all the other rooms. So we see here 8:8. Let's do that. I'm going to connect that here onto this room. So I'm not going to go 8:8. I'm going to go 10:8 because my room is formed like that. Put in a door in between and assign that to a bathroom. I deliberately make this room a little bit larger to have enough room for upgrades here. So the bathroom, we do the same thing. And the bathroom needs toilets for the bladder needs, showers for the hygiene, and sinks also for the hygiene. My personal approach is I really provide as much options as I have followers early on, because I made the experience that my cultists took whatever excuse they could to not wash their hands after doing their business. And since these early game things are that super cheap, you can avoid a lot of stress with that, or find your own balance of things which works out for you. For me, this solution worked out really good. No more dirty hands because they scummed out on washing their hands. Beyond that, building your rooms works just like the same, just like that. There's nothing special anymore to it. We're going to build these rooms real quick off the record, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about your cult in general and all these rooms in their functions in detail. And there it is so far. Here we have all the basic needs for a cult unified. I built up a canteen, which includes a canteen table, a serving table, a vending machine, and a water cooler. As usual, you get a readout about what these rooms actually need. Usually building one of each is absolutely sufficient. We built a reactor room, which is our chapel, which includes a lectern, an idol, and sitting spots for as many people as you want. I personally would always recommend you to build as many spots as you have maximum followers, because these people go to pray there as well and spend their money. So you want as much room as you can, stuff people in there. So on top of that, we have the lobby, which just includes a lobby desk, and that's all the basics. We have here the meditation studio, which I left empty deliberately because it behaves a little bit differently, because it's the first service-oriented room. So the room-specific objects here are the meditation stage, as you see here, needed to complete the meditation studio. This is where the dude is going to work. Meditation music is also needed to complete that thing, so it's another necessary item. Let's place that down here. And the meditation mats are where your followers will sit down and do the meditation training. So as you see here, there's a maximum amount of mats allowed in a single room, so these rooms don't need to be that large. Alright, so this is all we need for now to get the ball rolling, so we can start the day. And now our first followers will rush in and do their job. If you don't configure anything, they will always do all the necessary work as long as there's enough people around to do the job. So the regular job is followers come in here, they will be greeted at the reception, and then they go either meditating or praying. And that's just how you earn your money and influence. So another thing that I want to talk about now is the prestige system of rooms. As you see here, there's this bar, and prestige roughly translates to quality. The higher the prestige of a room, the higher the quality impression of that room is. And if we check out our followers, let's click on one of those. The blue ones are, sorry, not followers, cultists. The blue ones are our cultists, the green one is the leader. They all have their own mood rating. And mood, as we see here, is being influenced by a lot of things. But as we see here, this dude is already thinking that this room is awful. And as you see here, prestige is super awful too. That's because the items we built here don't have any innate prestige, or well, at least almost none. To increase that, you need to add in decor objects. This will increase the prestige of the rooms, and this will also help you to make people happier. Really important, because when the mood of people drops too low, they will eventually consider leaving your cult. And that's really bad, because you need your cultists to do all manner of different things. There's therefore a pretty high need of these decorational items. And there's so and so much which you can do with your starting options. As you see here, these items all cost a considerable amount of money, and you shouldn't overdo it. But honestly, give your people a little bit of comfort. Ironically, these items don't have any logical, don't need to do any logical sense. As you see here with the bathroom actually has a drain as an optional prestige item. If we put it in here, the prestige rises. But, you know, we can also go for a decorational file cabinet in the bathroom, and sadly this does increase the prestige as well. I'm pretty sure this might not stay like that, but for now, the higher the prestige, the happier people are wherever they go. And from my experience, it's really important that this room has a somewhat tolerable value, because otherwise your cultists will allocate a lot of stress and be pretty unhappy with their life in general. So give them some goodies, but don't overdo it. In general, there's also one more thing. If the room is not large enough for all the stuff that you put in, the prestige will also drop again. So you can't just solve this thing by cramming in as much stuff as you want to. No, this doesn't work like that. Okay, so how does the rest work here? Our cultists are very versatile people. They do all manner of things. In the cultist menu, you can check out how they feel, but also we can check out what skills they have. So skills in this game are pretty cool, because you see here skills influence all manner of different things. Every skill always influences two tasks. As we see here, bluffing, for example, is good in the chapel, but also good in the lobby. And this list goes on and on. Improvisation is good for people in the kitchen, but also good for maintenance. Intelligence is good for all module rooms and for research things. So overall, every skill has always two appliances. Here we see what kind of skills everybody has, and here we have a very important menu, the priority menu. Here you can set up where people are supposed to work. And as you see here, if you mouse over that, you can see what kind of skills are necessary. Your people will all gain experience, and whenever they level up, you can increase skills. So I highly recommend you to specialize your cultists. You will benefit so much from that. So if you check this out, the meditation studio needs empathy and retail, so it's really worth it to level that up on somebody and just put a check mark in it for high priority. You can also make sure that somebody does not use that room at all, or if this is open, somebody will take the job, but don't rely on the most talented person to run over there. This kind of allocation system is used by many games, but in this game the big difference is that you need to specialize your people according to their job in form of those skills, which is really fun. Your cultists also come with a quality rating, and this is where we get into the next system right away, the followers, but let's continue with the quality first. Quality defines how high they can level up and how high they can learn skill. So a very poor cultist can only learn a skill up to 5 and can level up only up to level 3. We start out with a cultist which has an average quality, as you see here, level cap 8, skills cap 8. So that really does change a lot. Also, every cultist costs you a certain amount of faith every day. Faith is kind of like your basic resource, which keeps your cultists bound to your cult. Faith is going to be generated every day by doing a sermon in the chapel. The sermon is standardized on 10 p.m., which is basically the time when all the followers left and only your cultists are there. Followers are basically people that bring you money and also the future cultists of your ever-spreading business. So The more time they spend at your compound, the more willing they be to be recruited, and of course they need also to be happy to stay there. If ever the happiness of somebody deteriorates too hard, they will leave your sect, which is not cool because this generates heat. They will talk bad about your place after all, and if you allocate too much heat, the cops will come and shut down your place eventually. To avoid that, we keep our people happy, and that's basically the basic gameplay loop of this game. This gets garnered up by doing research, of course, to progress through the technologies. Sadly, I can't see it yet, but no problem. We're going to fix that. Research needs to be unlocked by a mission, which is another game element, which is quite fun. Missions are pretty simple. You put somebody there to do the job. So here we go to the university and acquire material to produce our own research. So we assign a cultist, and you see here what kind of skills will be useful for that endeavor, and they get marked white out here. So you always start with one person with a couple of talents, so this is pretty easy. You see here also this is a fake mission. This has a 100% chance of succeeding. So let's begin that, and that's that. Your character will then travel to the mission and do as she has been told. See here, she's leaving the compound, and off she goes. Now there's going to be that little timer below the mission, and once that ran through, the mission is done. This is how missions work in this game, all of them. Sometimes you get to allocate more cultists to the job, and sometimes less. Well, not less than one at least. And you just need to turn them in. You will always get the reward after turning in, and you will always receive your cultist back after turning in. So don't derp that out. So after that's been done, you get a readout about the results. Other missions in this game will almost always also generate heat, but there's also another resource called PR. There's PR missions in this game. We're going to talk about them once we have established the research. Research is now, as we have unlocked it, another room which we can build. So you just need to slam that down. Whoops, foundation first. And build a room just like we did before. That's all that's to it. Research behaves a little bit differently than other things, so we're going to go over that manually here again. So research office desk is necessary and supercomputer is necessary. That's all. And as usual, as you see here, you get all of this told by the mouse overs. It's very simple. Research will only be done if there is a research selected. Research will always be paid by either one or three of those, or actually 4 resources, but money, faith, and influence. As you see here, influence is necessary to build up to research the maintenance room, which will provide repair services and such. Influence is generated by followers. Whenever followers are doing their stuff, they generate money and influence. Faith is created by sermons at the end of the day, and to do a sermon, you need to pay influence. So you see, if your job goes good, at the end of the day, you will have influence to do the sermon, and you will have faith to pay your cultists. Therefore, when you buy any researches, always keep in mind to really to have a couple of points for your sermon at the end of the day, because otherwise you will run dry. Speaking about sermons and about rooms in general, a lot of rooms have extra tabs here on the side. Check them out. It's really worth doing so. The sermon, by the way, can be pimped up by putting extra influence into it. We can purge negative thoughts by putting in influence. We can boost skills. We can boost the faith increase. There's a couple of things which we can do. So here we had dirty hands while eating. So, well, you see, mission failed. Sometimes I really don't know how they managed to do so, but the food-related injury here is not that terrible at all. You get here a readout about somebody being injured. Well, I tried. I guess we need better sanitary systems after all. Now, at the end of the day, they go over to the sermon. And that's where we get our daily end readout. So there's the sermon quality. This is being influenced by the mood of your leader. So keeping your leader happy is also very, very important. We also see here how much influence the sermon did cost and how much faith it did generate. A couple of other information up ahead here. This is also your daily success readout, and this is the overall mood in your cult. Keep these states, keep these numbers up, and you're basically successful. Alright, so let's swap over to a little bit more advanced cult where we have already unlocked the maintenance room, the recreational room, and a couple of other goodies because researching takes time. Now we see the Church of the Atom as I have prepared it on my other save file. We have here a little bit of a different distribution of rooms, but we have now a maintenance room, which is providing repairs and cleaning for your compound. Very, very important to do that because otherwise broken down items will make your people very unhappy. The other thing next to that is the recreational room, which provides fun to your cultists. Extremely important to have that as well. After that, there are a couple of different things to research. I'm going to go over the beginner's technologies and then I'm going to guide you a little bit down the road as well. So the Leader's Sanctum is another thing I want to talk about because it's a pretty special room. The Leader's Sanctum allows you to unlock the Divine Inspirations menu. It's basically the research office of the leader. Here you can unlock new divine darkness themes. Right now there's only one theme provided, darkness theme, but that's not gonna be all that there's going to be in the future. This unlocks mostly new decorational items and will get you new missions to do outside of the town, which will yield all manner of different rewards. But most importantly, via these missions of the darkness theme, you will also get high quality prestige items to decorate your rooms with, which is really, really awesome. Overall, in the later stages of the game, when the early access version is more done, you will get an option to individualize your cult more by being either evil or good. I guess the goodness trope will also be included. I don't know, we're going to see what kind of magnificent ideas the developers will have. But for now, we can only be evil, and once we have this basic technology done, we will unlock always new things, mostly missions or new researches like these, which will unlock new headgear and all manner of different fun things. This is for now mostly for providing more prestige, but there's more down the road which I don't want to talk about as of yet. So, research, there are PR missions, which are basically providing PR rating. That's their thing. As you see here, missions also yield experience for the cultists that come with that follow into the mission. Faith and influence are also provided, and PR. PR is necessary to generate followers that have a higher quality than very poor. So the higher your PR, the higher the maximum level of your people, which is pretty good, so you should work on that. Heat, by the way, decays over time. So if you have a couple of points of heat, don't you worry, they will go away after a couple of days. So research-wise, there is really a lot down here, which is mostly focused around improving the quality of the rooms, improving the maximum amount of followers and cultists, and providing you new forms of meditation rooms. So there's the spirit chamber, the energy spa, and there's also upgrades for the recreational room and for the bedroom and so on and so forth. These upgrades are extremely valuable because after a couple of days your cultists will hate these mattresses and cardboard boxes at their feet. So you have to upgrade, you have to provide all new things. My personal recommendation here is unlock PR missions as you want to. They are pretty useful because they sometimes yield items which provide, again, prestige. Because you can kind of like loot items from missions, which you can only place down as often as you have looted them. Fun system, really cool to play around with. Also, different forms of meditation chambers are very, very important too. My personal approach is to go for a early recreational room upgrade and then focus into another meditation chamber. The Leader's Sanctum is quite tempting, but it's actually, well, you can delay that. This mechanic here is not that important. I unlocked it because I was very, very curious, but actually the smarter decision is to increase the quality of your cult first, because the challenge behind this game is as follows. You will always generate heat when people drop off your religion, and people drop off your religion when they are too unhappy, and therefore providing quality and a healthy mix of different occupations is absolutely vital to ensure the happiness of your followers. To recruit followers, by the way, it's pretty easy. You just need to hit that recruit button as soon as they are fully convinced here. Another thing about followers, you can research technologies to find out about their traits later down the road. You can also increase the quality of food and a lot of other things. The deeper you go down this road, you can also remove negative traits, and a lot of really useful operations can be done. But mostly, as much as I hate to say it, you will fire out your people at some point because they are just too low quality and you can recruit better quality people. And this will always generate heat, so you will have to play around that mechanic. Basically, if you grow too fast and you grow too uncontrolled, people will drop off left and right, and you will ultimately be shut down by the cops. Another thing which I wanted to mention is that when you level up people, you get a notification down here, pretty useful to know, and people cost faith per day. If you level them up, they cost more faith per day. So if you ever struggle with your costs, you might want to chill down with skilling out your people. Apart from that, specialize your people into certain jobs. Make sure that that this place runs well, and expand carefully whenever you notice that you are on a good spot. If you expand too quickly, you will ultimately topple over. This is pretty much all that I can say about this game at this point. I'm pretty sure we will see some expansions in the future, like more customizations about the cults. I'm not sure what the devs have in store as of yet, but we're going to see. So that sums it up. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw so far. I totally recommend this game. It's a lot of fun, and there's really a lot of things to discover. With all the decorational items, you can really create a crazy, cool looking place, and it really gets you hooked at some point to go down the research further, and you get greedy to build your cult too quickly because you want that money, and then you spend too much influence at some point and bad things happen. There's already a lot of action and fun in that early access version, and I can't wait where this all develops. What catched me mostly was the stress-free gameplay of this game. It's really a breeze. It's easy to pick up. Making mistakes is not feeling like a punishment, more like, ha, that was fun, let's do it better. Total recommendation from my point of view so far. So drop your comments down below, leave me a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed it to make it more visible to everybody else, and of course check out my channel, daily videos popping up there. If you might want to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, you're not going to miss anything in the future. So catch you guys next time, and bye bye.